Hello and welcome to our Performance Improvement tutorial series. In this video we will cover how to add, edit, and remove issues. The issues list is located on your left navigational pane. If we click on issues, we'll be transferred to the issues landing page. Adding issues is very similar to adding tasks. You'll see the same menu options and buttons. So let's add a new issue. So I went to New, and on the drop-down menu, click New Issue. A lot of project teams kind of get confused between tasks and issues, and one of the things that we try to keep in mind is an issue is any type of external factor that's outside of your project team's control that may be putting project risk into your project. So think of things that are outside of your project team's control that may be delaying project work or project tasks. So an example might be an IT vendor delivering the latest update is delaying several of your project tasks, and you want to log this as an issue for your key stakeholders to know that this is influencing our work getting done, and it might be delaying some of our project time frames and timelines. So that's kind of a rough rule of thumb that we use when we think about project issues. So with that said, let's create a new issue. And this is the issues form. There's an issue title, so we'll say Project Issue 1. Using the Assign To box is very similar to using the Assign To box in our task list. So I always favor using the Outlook kind of feature here. So I'm going to browse for a name, and I'm going to add closure T. I'm going to say OK. We're going to say this is an active status. The severity is, we use these scales of low, medium, and high, and this is where you'll want to work with your team to kind of build consensus around what type of project risk this issue is posing to your project. So this is really an exercise to use with your team and maybe your project manager or your process owner. So for this issue, we'll say it's a medium severity. And we're hoping that this issue will be resolved by March 1st. Well, and we'll say that this was an IT vendor issue. We don't know the resolution yet, so simply say OK. Once you click OK, you'll be transferred back to your issues landing page, and you can see that our issue's been added. You can see the issue title, who it's assigned to, the status of the issue, the severity level, the due date, and the discussion we entered. So that's all there is to adding an issue. Let's say we wanted to provide an update on this issue. If you go back to your project issue that we just entered and put your mouse over that issue, you're going to see the drop-down window. When we click on this drop-down window, you're going to see View Item, which would view the project issue in a read-only view. We can edit the item. Manage permissions we won't cover in this video. You can delete the item, or you can alert me. We'll cover alert me in later video tutorials. So let's just edit this item. Say we received an update from the IT vendor. So down here, we'll just say that IT vendor delivered update. And then we'll say OK. And our project issue's been updated. So if we jump back in, you can see that we've got our discussion from when we initially created the issue, and then we've got the resolution, our most recent update. And I got to this window, but they're pretty quick. If you simply do a single click on your issue, you'll be transferred to the project issue read-only view, which is kind of a snapshot view of all your issue form fields here. And you also see the same menu options that you get when you hover over your issue and click the drop down window. So from this view we can even edit the item, delete the item, manage permissions, and use the alert me function. So something else you might want to keep in mind when you're viewing your issues. So let's say close and say we received an update from the IT vendor that the issue's been resolved. So we need to close this issue. So on the drop down window I'm going to go to edit item, and I'm going to make a quick note. Oops. I'm going to make a quick note that on the 28th, IT vendor issue. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to mark the status as closed, and I'm going to say OK. This is going to transfer us back to our issues landing page, and you're going to see that the issue is no longer visible to the project team. One thing to keep in mind here is we'll learn later about different list views, but if we click the view menu here and say all items, we'll see that our issue has been closed and it remains a part of our project assets. So we can go back and see how we managed different issues and risk associated with our work. So that's one of the nice things about managing an issue from the active state to closing the issue. Okay, let's say we mistakenly added an issue and we want to delete it from our project completely. So if you mouse over your project issue and click on the drop down window, you'll see the delete item option here. If we say delete item, it's going to ask if we're sure we want to remove this item and place it in the recycling bin. We'll say OK. This removes project issue 1 completely from our project site. So again, I would only use the delete function when you've mistakenly added issues or tasks to your project site. So we're back on the issues landing page here, and you can see that there's no active issues. So that's how you add, edit, and delete issues from your SharePoint project sites. Thank you.